wherever you're at. Thank you all so much for all of the support, for liking, commenting, sharing all of my stuff. It does not go unnoticed. This is why I'm able to do free classes for all of you. So tonight's subject, of course, is going to be about removing collections from your credit report. Now, there's several different methods out there, but this is the method that I use anytime that I get a collection on my credit report and I want to get things removed. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Let me make sure everything, all right. So y'all already know I got to give my disclaimer every time because I don't want y'all to think that I'm a lawyer. I don't want y'all to think that I'm an attorney of any sort, anything like that. No, I am just a consumer who learned their rights, and now I'm helping you all learn your rights as well. So this webinar is going to be learning how to remove collections from your credit report by Millionaire Made, me, of course. So this is not legal advice, nor am I an attorney. This is for educational purposes only, informational purposes only. Nothing that I say shall be construed as legal advice or legal guidance. This is for informational purposes only. I have to make that very clear because I will not be held liable for anything that you guys do, okay? So some of you may be new to my free classes. So I always have to introduce myself and let you all know who I am and how I started. So my name is May, but of course I go by Millionaire May on all my platforms because I am a millionaire. Yes, I am. That's why it's in front of my name. I feel like I'm a go-to person in providing clarity for consumer law. A lot of people don't teach this information because it's pretty complex, and people just don't want to teach things that could be difficult for other people to grasp. And when it comes to teaching laws, people can take certain information and just run with it instead of actually putting in the time that they need to do. So some people do not want to teach consumer law. And, you can't really blame them for that. But I started teaching consumer law because I noticed that our community, well, a lot of people, we don't have the knowledge about laws, and we aren't taught laws in school. These are things that we should be taught at a younger age. This is why I teach my son this now. So I felt like it was a need-based business because a lot of people don't know about the laws, and a lot of people can't even understand or overstand the laws to even articulate it to others. So I felt like it was a need-based business, and that's why I started teaching. And also not just because of that, but because it's important. It's a very, very important topic for us to know. And the reason for it's the reason why a lot of us are in the position that we're in, because we don't know the laws. So I feel like I'm a go-to person when it comes to consumer law and taking legal action against credit reporting agencies, debt collectors, dealerships, financial institutions. Anybody that want it can get it, okay? At the end of the day, if they violated my rights, it don't matter who it was, where, aunt, uncle, they're getting sued, okay? So I feel like I'm a good person to go to. And I'm always learning. So I started learning consumer law in March of 2022. I quit my job. I have not had a 9-to-5 since then. I have been able to create a business from this. But whenever I first started, I wasn't knowledgeable. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how far this would get me. I didn't know what would work, but I just knew that once I started reading the laws and watching classes about consumer law, it just felt really liberating to me. It uplifted me. It lit a fire under me to want to learn more because I wanted to learn how to start getting checks from collection companies, dealerships, consumer reporting agencies. I wanted to learn how to clean my credit report so I can go and get funding to invest into my business. I wanted to learn just pretty much those two things. My main thing when I first started learning consumer law was to get paid checks and to clean my credit report. And then also a major thing that everybody always talks about is clearing their debt or getting rid of debt, So that is how I started learning. I love learning. Like learning was a very it was just, a lot of people think it's frustrating, but to me, it wasn't frustrating because I really took my time. You have to really take your time when you're learning the laws because it's new information and not everybody can obtain information the same way. So the way that I obtain information, the next person can't. So whenever I was learning, it didn't take me a long time to learn and execute. Like as soon as I started learning, I was able to almost immediately execute the information, not saying hurried up and sue, but I was able to start writing letters and I was able to obtain the information and write my letters and things like that within months. So depending on how you're able to obtain information, you will be able to execute what it is that I'm going to give you tonight. But when I started in March of 2022, I was struggling bad financially. I was working for Wayfair. I was working from home for Wayfair. I was on my computer all day. And I had already had like an entrepreneur background because I wanted to have my own clothing brand, but I didn't have no capital. And a lot of us, we don't have capital when we're trying to create businesses. So that's the reason why we stopped our business. So I was like, I got to figure out how to get some capital to fund this clothing business. And I started learning about credit from the Bureau bullies and learning that, you can remove anything from your credit report because, it's your right. Credit is your right. You have a right to privacy and things like that, and learning about the real definition of debt, credit, and all of that type of stuff. So I quit my job without knowing what was going to happen next. I had no idea what was going to happen next. I just knew I'm going to learn this information and I'm done working. I'm going to learn this information and I know this information is going to work because it has to work, because I have faith and I believe that it'll work. And I see other people getting results. I know I can do the exact same thing. So that was my mindset when I quit my job. I was like, I'm going to focus solely on the laws. As soon as I quit that job, I was in the books, I was reading, I was studying, I was watching videos from that day that I quit my job, because I made a definite decision that I was going to be all in on this. And I knew that I was going to have success in it. And that's the only way that I did, because I believed in it. It really starts with you. And I want to make that very clear that when you're learning laws from people, it's not about that person that's teaching you the information. It's about you and how you're able to execute and how you believe, if you believe it'll work, how you see it. You know what I'm saying? You can't, nothing will go in your favor if you don't believe it'll work. So that has to be established when you're learning the laws. And that's something that I knew. That's why I have so much success in this, is because I knew in my mind, I put in my mind that I was going to be successful from this. And that's why I'm able to have my success. Yes, the laws work, but it's also you. Okay. So I want to make sure y'all understand that it starts with you, your mindset when learning the laws. You have to have an open mind. You have to know that everything is not going to work out the very first time, like anything in life. I have had errors. I have had mess ups. I have cases that I've gotten dismissed, but it never stopped me from wanting to keep going. It made me go harder. So yeah, that's who I am. And that's how I started learning consumer law. And I've been blessed to not have a job since March of 2022. I've been blessed to get paid multiple checks from collection companies, from dealerships. I've been blessed to be able to teach this to you guys and now have my own business, all from learning the law. All right. Just had to let y'all know. Okay, so let's get into it. So what law governs collection companies? Of course, this is going to be the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which is 15 U.S. Code 1692. So that's what we're going to pull up on our screens. You can just type it in or you can follow along with me. I always go to Law Cornell. It's just the go-to law website. Get familiar with it. Once you're learning law, you're going to literally this website. I'm not even tired of looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what helps me in my journey. So 15 U.S. Code 1692 is going to be the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. This is what's going to govern collection companies. It does govern creditors in certain instances, but right now we're just going to solely focus on collection companies. So the congressional findings is going to be the beginning of the FDCPA. This is where Congress is telling us why we are here. Why did Congress create this law? What did Congress create this law for, right? And then we're going to just read a little bit of the congressional findings and see what Congress said. So it says that there is an abundant evidence of the use of abusive, deceptive, and unfair debt collection practices by many debt collectors. Abusive debt collection practices contribute to the number of personal bankruptcies, to marital instability, to the loss of jobs, and to the invasions of individual privacy. Existing laws and procedures for redressing these injuries are inadequate to protect consumers. Means other than misrepresentation or other abusive debt collection practices are available for the effective collection of debts. So I want to back up right here. It says that abusive debt collection practices contribute to the number of personal bankruptcies, to marital instability, and to the loss of jobs, and to invasions of individual privacy. And privacy is a big thing as a consumer, because if you have to really understand, if I'm just here living, breathing, I'm a spiritual being. We're just supposed to be here living, breathing. Why is there companies that have my private information, as far as like your social security number is very important. So when a collection company buys your debt from the creditor, the original creditor, right? They're not allowed to buy your private information, your first, middle, and last name. That would, to me, that's private. Not everybody. That's why people don't have their real names on Instagram, because they want to mask their real name. I never gave a collection company my private information. I never gave a collection company my social security number, my date of birth, my address. First of all, you gave these people my address, where I live, where I sleep, where my kids sleep, right? If a collection company has that information, your privacy has been invaded, because yes, they can buy the debt from that original creditor, but your private information is something that they're not able to have, because you are a consumer, you're a natural living, breathing person. That is not something that anybody can just go and get unless they pull your consumer report. So if you are in debt right now with a collection company, you have been abused and deceived. If you lost a job due to unfair debt collection practices or marital instability or bankruptcies, you have been abused and deceived. And that's simply something that you can put in a letter and saying that have been abused and deceived due to the fact that I've lost my job because of unfair debt collection practices, due to the fact that I had marriage problems because of unfair debt collection practices, due to the fact that my privacy has been invaded because of unfair debt collection practices, because I never gave you my information. How did you get my information, right? So it is the purpose of this subchapter to eliminate abusive debt collection practices by debt collectors, to ensure that those debt collectors who refrain from using abusive debt collection practices are not competitively disadvantaged, and to promote consistent state action to protect consumers against debt collection abuses. So the main section that I use to remove, well, let's go to the definitions real quick, right? But the main section that I use to remove collections is 1692C, but you have to understand what the term communication is. The term communication means the conveying of information regarding a debt directly or indirectly to any person through any medium. Notice they didn't define the term person here, because the term person is defined in Truth in Lending, because Truth in Lending comes before FDCPA. So some terms, when you're Googling terms, it's not the same terms that's used in the law. So you want to make sure that you use the law terms when using these terms, because it's not the same Googleable terms. So it says the term person means a natural person or an organization, right? So the term communication means the conveying of information regarding a debt directly or indirectly to any person through any medium. So a person can be a natural person or an organization. Okay. I'm gonna get a little deep here, but just try to understand, right? There's two of you. There's two of us. All right. You have the natural person. You have the organization. You have an organization that was created in your name, but you didn't know. Your parents didn't know, right? That person on that birth certificate, that person on that social security number, that person on that driver's license, that person on that passport. It's in all caps, which indicates it's a corporation that was created. So you really have to think bigger. You got to think bigger. You got to think bigger here. Because it says that the term, I'm gonna read it again, the term communication means the conveying of information regarding a debt directly or indirectly to any person. When they're saying indirectly, right? That means that it's not directly to you, like it was in an indirect way. So for instance, how I see it is that when I receive a debt in the mail from a debt collector to that all caps person, if I receive a letter in the mail from a debt collector and they're sending it to all caps, May Rushing, that's indirectly because I'm a natural person consumer. So you can be the natural person or you can be an organization. So an indirect way that they are speaking to you is through that all caps. That's why Congress uses directly and indirectly. Once you start reading the laws, they use directly and indirectly a lot because they're jumping back between they know who you are. This is why they put these laws in place. They put it in books. They put it they say if you want to hide anything, put it in a book, put it in writing, put it somewhere that people is not gonna find because they on Instagram, they on TikTok, they on the shade room, right? That's why we got to start reading. We got to start putting our attention on things that are going to benefit our life and our kids. That's why you all are here, because you're trying to learn information that's going to benefit your life. Another indirect way is going to be your consumer report. Okay. Your consumer report is a medium that they're speaking to you in regards to that alleged debt indirectly. It may not be, it's kind of direct, but it's indirectly because it's through a different medium. So it's through a consumer reporting agency, right? So the term communication is very important because when we go to section 1692C, you can send them a cease and desist. Very important, right? Without the prior consent of the consumer given directly to the debt collector or the express, well, hold on. First of all, right here in the communication section, it says, without the prior consent of the consumer given directly to the debt collector. That means that you had to have given direct consent to the debt collector to what? Communicate with the consumer, right? They had to have direct consent. They had to have your permission, your wet ink signature, not a copy of the contract from the original creditor. That does not count. That does not count because half of the time, the original creditors have to be clear and conspicuous. Clear and conspicuous meaning that they have to put certain things in front of your face so you wouldn't have read over it, right? Every single time we sign papers with the original creditor, they don't go over the fact that they might sell the debt, right? It's not clear and conspicuous. So you wouldn't have known that a collection company could have potentially got your private information, right? So that don't matter. Whatever they got from that original creditor does not matter. You have to give them direct permission. It should have been written out saying, hey, yes, you can communicate with me in regards to this alleged debt. That's violation number one. That's $1,000. They have to have your direct consent to communicate with you, okay? So number one, that's something that you can put in a letter. I never gave you direct consent to communicate with me in regards to this alleged debt. So except as provided in section 1692B of this title, without the prior consent of the consumer, again, Congress is saying without the prior consent of the consumer given directly to the debt collector or a court order, right? or as reasonably necessary to effectuate a post-judgment judicial remedy, a debt collector may not communicate in connection with the collection of any debt with any person other than the consumer, his attorney, a consumer reporting agency, if otherwise permitted by law, the creditor, the attorney of the creditor, or the attorney of the debt collector. If a consumer notifies a debt collector in writing that the consumer refuses to pay a debt, so you can refuse to pay a debt. Now, I'm not saying like if you refuse to pay a debt, that doesn't mean that they're going to stop collecting, okay? So just use your brains. That does not mean, just because Congress is saying it, does not mean that they're going to abide by it. If they were going to abide by the FDCPA, they would have asked you for your consent. First of all, that was in 69, the first section. So just because you refuse to pay a debt does not mean that they're going to stop, right? Doesn't mean that they're not going to stop sending you letters to attempt to collect that debt from you, okay? But I'm telling you what Congress is saying. Congress says that you can refuse to pay a debt. If a consumer notifies the debt collector in writing that the consumer refuses to pay a debt, why would Congress give you the option to refuse to pay a debt if you couldn't? So now if you have refused to pay a debt, but that debt collector is still attempting to collect that debt for you, and then they sue you for it, they have violated the FDCPA, because it says right here that you can refuse to pay a debt. So just because they don't abide by specific things, that's fine. You're just racking up your $1,000. You're racking up your $1,000. You're racking up your $1,000. Or that the consumer wishes the debt collector to cease further communication with the consumer. The debt collector shall not communicate further with the consumer with respect to such debt. Okay? So if you tell the collection company that you want them to no longer communicate further with you, and remember, we went over the term communication. The term communication is going to be, what's a form of communication? Consumer report, email, mail, phone, text message. However, whatever mediums that they are communicating with you in regards to that alleged debt, right? So you're going to let them know. And this is what's going to be in your cease and desist, right? This is what a cease and desist is. A cease and desist is you pretty much telling a company, or well, in this case, it's you telling them that you no longer want them to communicate with you in regards to the alleged debt via mail, telephone, consumer report, text message, however, right? But in general, a cease and desist is pretty much like stop the illegal action, because that's exactly what they're doing. You really don't even owe this debt. We're not going to get into that, but you really don't even owe this debt. Because if you have a social security number, that social security number was used. It was used for a reason, right? There's an all caps U, there's a lowercase u, there's a natural living breathing person, or natural living breathing spirit, man, woman, or there's an organization U. That's why Congress says the term debt. Well, what is the term debt? The term debt is an obligation or an alleged obligation. Why would they put alleged there? Just for no reason? So there's a reason behind what they do. Just really have to read between the lines, because the average person that's like reading this, they're not going to think, oh, they're talking about that all caps person that they created that is owned by the state. Because once you have a birth certificate, your kids, they're owned by the state. They're not your kids. They're the state's kids, because that's what that birth certificate is. It's a bond, right? A lot of people don't know that, but I'm telling you now. So you have to understand that that all caps person is not really you. So people are like, well, how can I report identity theft? And I'm not saying to do this. This is not legal advice, right? Because anything that you do, you need to know how to back it up, and you need to know how to be able to show proof in the court when it comes down to court. It's not about what you know, but what you can prove. But everybody's like, how can you report identity theft if nobody stole your identity? Well, I mean, technically your identity was stolen if there was a contract, because that birth certificate is a contract. All contracts have to have full disclosure. There was not full disclosure in that contract. Your parents didn't know that they were signing your life away. You didn't know. I didn't know. Okay? So that's why Congress says the term debt means any obligation or alleged obligation. You have the option to choose. It says, or you have the option to choose. This is why I don't pay collection companies, because I don't owe you. I really don't owe anybody. And I will fight to the day I die. Like, that's the difference between me and most people when it comes to consumer law. I will fight to the day I die. I don't care. These corporations have been getting over on us for years. This is the reason why our family is struggling. This is the reason why our community is the way it is. Well, I'm not going to say the main reason, but it's a big reason. Because they're keeping us stuck. They're keeping us stuck. They're keeping us stuck in their cycle. But no, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, to get us out of that cycle. Okay. So now, creating a letter for this. Okay, but by the way, it does say that a cease and desist it says, if such notice from the consumer is made by mail, notification shall be complete upon receipt. Upon receipt means receipt. Green return receipt. Okay? So when you send the cease and desist, it has to be made, like Congress said, made by mail, and it shall be complete upon receipt. Meaning, as soon as they get that letter, certified mail, green return receipt, right? That's when that cease and desist becomes effective, that second. If it does not, that is $1,000 or actual damages. And what are actual damages? Actual damages could be that you have a high credit score. For instance, like me, I have a very good credit profile right now. And I had a collection company threaten me and say that they were going to furnish a negative item on my consumer report. I don't care. Do it, please. Please. I want you to. I really don't care because I know who I am. So if they report that negative item onto my consumer report, they're going to drop my consumer report, my credit score down, right? Now, say for instance that Chase decided to re-pull my credit report and they saw that collection on there and they decided to close my credit card account, or they decided to decrease my credit limit, right? That's something that's actual damages, because since that collection company decided to report a negative item onto my consumer report, I have a 6,300 limit with Chase. But Chase closed my account because they pulled my credit report and they saw that I had a negative collection. That's actual damages. And it's all about what you can prove. Or, you know what I'm saying? You got to think about embarrassment is a damage. It's embarrassing when a corporation pulls your consumer report and you get denied credit. That's embarrassment, right? Actual damages. A lot of people get stress or anxiety thinking about having to pay a collection company just because they don't want it to be furnished on their consumer report. And they don't have the funds for it. You got to pay for your kids' basketball or something. Your kid has speech problems. You know, your funds are running thin. You already working a 9 to 5. They already got you slaving, and now you got to try to come up with some extra money to pay this collection company. That's stress. That's anxiety. That's emotional distress. That's mental anguish. Look up all 4 of those things. That's going to be in your actual damages. That is actual damages. So it's not just about like credit limits, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's about actually being damaged emotionally. That's a damage, right? So I brought that up because it says that in the civil liability section, which this is the section that says you can get paid for any actual damages sustained by such person as a result of such failure. Okay. So it could be, as it says, In the case of any action by an individual, so that means an action, a lawsuit made by you, such additional damages as the court may allow, but not exceeding 1,000, right? So you can get any actual damages, or you can get up to $1,000 per violation. Okay. So hold on. Let me pull up a Google Doc. So y'all can type in the chat now. How is that? Let me pull up a Google Doc so I can show you guys how to create this cease and desist. Okay, so you always want to make sure that you title your cease and desist, or whatever, anything that you're sending to a company, you want to make sure that it's titled. No, you cannot see my phone.
Just
And of course, you want to have your name, your first and last name, your identifying information. If you don't have an account number, that's fine. So the first name. You can put your date of birth, and your address, and account number if you have one. And you can put the last four of your social. But I'm sure with your first name, last name, date of birth, and address, they'll be able to pull up whatever your profile, your collection profile, right? So let's go to the law and see what did the law say for us to put into our cease and desist. So one thing that they said was, if a consumer notifies a debt collector in writing that the consumer refuses to pay a debt, or the consumer wishes the debt collector to cease further communication with the consumer, the debt collector shall not communicate further with the consumer. Okay. So literally, it's that simple. This is my and what is the legal definition of your consumer report? Let's go to the definitions section. This is my bad, y'all. This is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, okay? So your consumer report means any written, oral, or other communication of any information by a consumer reporting agency bearing on a consumer's credit worthiness, credit standing, credit capacity, character, general reputation, personal characteristics, or mode of living, right? So your consumer report is your character. It's your general reputation. Your consumer report says a lot about your financial reputation, your financial history. It literally determines if you're going to be able to get funding for things that you actually need. Like every time we need to get funding, it's for something that we actually need, right? Personal, family, and household purposes. So your company is furnishing this negative item via my consumer report, which is causing to my financial reputation, my character, my credit worthiness, and has caused me to be denied several extensions of consumer credit in which I cannot enter to consumer right? Boom, this is my formal notice to your company to cease communication of this alleged debt. A form of communication is email, mail, telephone, and consumer report. Your company is furnishing this negative item via my consumer report, which is causing harm to my financial reputation, my character, my credit worthiness, and has caused me to be denied several extensions of consumer credit. Oh my God. My bad. Several extensions of consumer credit in which I cannot enter into consumer credit transactions for personal, family, and household purposes. Because a consumer credit transaction is where credit is offered or extended for personal, family, or household purposes. That's why you never got a loan. It was a consumer credit transaction. But so what else? That's pretty much it. That's really all I gotta say. This shall be complete upon receipt of we also did say something about consent. So you could say something here. I never gave your or communicate with me. Why are you yelling?
I was in the same place. But
I'm all like, oh no. This shall be complete upon receipt of this letter and shall be removed from my consumer report. Boom. Screenshot that, you guys. If y'all all sending at the same time with the same verbiage, it's probably not gonna work. So let's copy and paste it and put it into chat. Hold on, if I could get this box out of the way. So we can ask Chat GPT to rewrite this. So Chat will literally rewrite it, dress it up, dress it down, right? Because we don't want to send the same exact thing to each corporation because that's when they get on us and this shit stop working. Okay? So don't be that person. Look, I'm telling your company to stop bothering me about this debt. You never asked me if you could talk about it or put it on my crew. You never asked me if you could talk about it. This is hurting my ability to borrow money for things I need. Fix this problem and remove it from my credit report as soon as you get this letter. Well, shoot. Did nobody say it had to be all perfect? So hold on. Oh yeah, this thing's about to die. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Does that make sense to you all? Let me go back here. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna share again. Okay, let me get back to my presentation. I'll answer questions in a minute. So, no, you don't have to, like, when it comes to citing codes and stuff, you don't have to like cite the actual code, okay? Like, that's not important. What's important is the message, okay? So like I just showed you, how can you remove collections from your credit report? And then by law, your consumer report is your financial reputation. So your consumer report says a lot about you. Like I was saying, it does say a lot about you. So you have to really take that seriously. You have to really take it seriously, but also make sure that you are able to, like, if you're going to tell a company that you're going to sue them, you need to be able to do that. You need to do that. Like, don't sit up there and tell a collection company, like, I'm going to sue your company for, furnishing a negative item on my consumer report, and you're not going to do that. You want to be able to back up your words. So if this letter does not work, right? If this letter does not work, your next step is going to be to sue them, right? You can send as many letters as you want, okay? But the only thing that makes these companies move any type of way is when you file a lawsuit against them. I'm not saying that it's not going to work. I've had a cease and desist work a few times, but sometimes that cease and desist doesn't move them. Sometimes that cease and desist doesn't do, oh, hold on, y'all. I knew that was gonna happen. How ghetto. So yeah, hold on. Let me reconnect this. I'm gonna answer y'all's questions in just a minute. So now I'm going to show you proof of this information working. Okay, I'm going to show you proof of me suing a collection company and getting paid from them, because a lot of times people can say this, and that, but where's the proof? Okay, I don't. The reason why I do this is because I did not start teaching consumer law until I got results, until I sued my first collection company. That was when I started teaching consumer law. I didn't start teaching just because I got a class, saw somebody else's class, and then took what they did from that class and started teaching. No, I wouldn't even feel right doing that. I didn't start teaching consumer law until I started to get results. So this was a collection company check, right? This is the results of when you do sue. You should want to sue, okay? You should really want to sue these people because they don't have no problem suing you. So you shouldn't have no problem with suing them. You shouldn't have no problem with flipping the script on them. If a collection company comes after me today and say I owe them, no, you owe me. Because first of all, who gave you my information? First of all, is that a logo or a symbol on that letter that you just sent me? Doesn't your name indicate that you're in the debt collection business? So now everybody, whoever went and got my mail, they know that I'm in debt, right? No, I don't owe you, you owe me. So I turn collections into checks. If a collection company comes after me, I'm excited. Okay. That last collection company that just came after me, I was so excited to do that paperwork because I'm like, hey, it's another check coming. It's another check on the way, right? So this was my first collection company check that I got, right? It was $1,750. They waived the debt. That's the most important part, because you can get an account removed from your consumer report, but you still owe them. The most important part is getting waiver of the debt, zeroing out the balance of the debt. I know how to do that, okay? I know exactly how to do that. And that is important because if you don't get that debt zeroed out, they're going to try to sue you. And then there's going to be a judgment in place. And now you're going to have to work backwards. That's why you want to get on top of things right now. This was the actual check that I was so happy. You guys have no idea what this check did for me. With this check, I was able to get trade lines. Then once I got the trade lines, I was able to get my first credit card. And with that credit card, I was able to move here to Florida. Now I live on a resort. Okay, so this check did, and mind you guys, I didn't have no job, no income coming in. I knew zero things about consumer law. I didn't know a thing. Just like a lot of you guys that are on this call, I didn't know anything. And I studied my ass off from March. I didn't file my first lawsuit till September. I got this check January 6th. This wasn't even a full year. And I had got my first check. Like, I was so excited because this check literally changed my life. This check was the reason why I was able to get my Mercedes. I was able to move. And now living a life of luxury. But it took months sacrificing. I wanted to go outside. And enjoy myself, but I couldn't because I'm broke. I ain't got no money. I had no money. So I was like, I gotta focus on these laws. I gotta focus on something that's going to bring me income. And the laws did just that. That's why I'm so hard on the laws, and I go so hard in it because what it did for me, I know it could do for other people. What? Okay. I don't know. Hold on. Okay. Another thing was as I had lost my job, right? Lost my job. I mean, didn't lose my job. I quit my job. Quit my job. And of course, you know, when you quit your job, you ain't got no income coming in. Next thing you know, you're going to be getting evicted, baby. Well, that eviction was out the door. I didn't pay rent from May 2022 until I left. I got that case dismissed by learning my rights. The FDCPA can go further than what you think, okay? It can go further than what you think. Consumer law can go further than what you think. FCRA, Truth in Lending, FDCPA, that's the, you know, beginner level. But there's better, different, it's so hard for me to explain because it's just so many different things that you can do with consumer law because there's so many different laws out there. There's so many different methods that if all you do is take the time out to focus and study on it, you will see results. You will see results. This eviction case got dismissed. I did not pay rent for months. I don't talk about this that much because it doesn't happen like that every single time. A lot of this information is really about where you are at in your life and how is your energy? How is your vibration? How are you manifesting? You know what I'm saying? That's how a lot of this is. Because sometimes my cases don't go the way that I wanted to. And I'm like, damn, my energy is all types of messed up right now. But that doesn't mean it don't work. It does, like your energy is a very, very big thing with anything you do. We know that. We all know that. You can feel it. You can feel certain things. You know when you're about to start attracting negative things. You can feel it, right? Because we're spiritual beings. So these were like the two best things that had happened to me because you have no idea, like, well, you guys probably know, but to quit my job, not know what was going to happen next. Didn't have no idea. Didn't know that I was going to turn consumer law into a business. Didn't know that I was going to get a check less than a year within learning it. Didn't know that I was going to give my all into it. Didn't know nothing to end up getting that first check and then getting my eviction case dismissed, getting a new car after my last car was repossessed. My car was repossessed in October. I got my new car in January. I said, fuck that car. Shit, I'm finna get a new one anyways. It's all about how you perceive things. Like perception is everything. I could have cried about that little Jeep Cherokee. I was like, you know what? I need something better. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So now I have something coming up for you guys where I'm going to teach you this exact same blueprint that I followed, that I did. Okay. And I'm going to share that with you all. And it's going to be my 5-day challenge. This 5-day challenge is going to be everything that I just talked about is just a little percentage, a small percentage of what you can do, right? It's just a small percentage. I only talked about one section of the FDCPA. I didn't get into Truth in Lending Act. So let me show you the itinerary for the 5-day challenge, okay? Hold on. Let me pull it up. So day one schedule is going to be about mindset, the Truth in Lending Act, how to sue dealerships, and how to sue creditors. Yay, somebody's already enrolled. Yes, I know. Some of you have already enrolled. Congrats to you guys because y'all have 5 full days with me. This is 5 full live days. So this is day one, right? We have to get into mindset. I'm not playing about that. If you take my classes, if your mindset not good, I don't even want you to take my classes. I don't even want y'all to take my classes because it's all about how your mind is. So we're going to make sure if your energy not right, we're going to make sure it's right tomorrow, okay? We're going to make sure it's right. Day 2, we're going to go over Fair Credit Reporting Act, how to sue consumer reporting agencies, how to sue furnishers, okay? You can sue furnishers under the FCRA. So if you have a collection on your account right now, on your credit report, you can sue that collection company under the FCRA and also the FDCPA, okay? So that's 2 different laws. Like when you're suing these companies, you can stack your laws. Day 3, we're going to be going over the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which is the one section that we went over, how to sue debt collectors, get collection accounts balances zeroed out, because some of my students have been able to get their collection accounts balances zeroed out without suing. Because some of these collection companies are in big trouble with the CFPB and the FTC. So sometimes they don't even want to, sometimes they don't even, like, once you tell them certain things and they hear certain verbiage, they might be like, okay, does any of this apply to child support? Hold on. Okay, next, remove them from your credit report, right? And then how to protect yourself from lawsuits, because that's very important. A lot of people are being sued. A lot of people are getting sued. So we're going to be going over that in the 5-day challenge. That's not necessarily something that I went over yet, because I wanted to learn more, because what happened in my case could be different for your case. So it's like, if you get a certain response from the court or the collection company, it's like, okay, what do you do next? You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be going over that. That's day 3. So this is day 4. We're going to be going to federal rules of civil procedure, how to create a claim, building your case for lawsuits, right? I'm going to be showing you how to, because a lot of consumers' cases get dismissed because they're not properly stating a claim. So I've been doing some studying. I've been doing some research. I've been in the books. We're going to be going over that so you can know how to properly state a claim, right? The federal rules of civil procedure, how to serve them, that's important. How to serve, the proper service, also your state and local rules. All of that is very, very important. You cannot skip over the court process when you're trying to sue corporations. That's something that I did, but I ain't doing that no more. Then day 5, we're going to go over the arbitration process and negotiating settlements, okay? This is going to be September 25th through the 29th. So okay, today is supposed to be, oh wait, hold on. Is this free? Hold on, y'all. Oh, there it goes. Like, why is it blurry? It starts tomorrow, okay? 5 full days with me going over the laws. You guys, like, for real, I don't know the next live class that I will be able to do, because I'm about to take after this live class. I'm going to be taking a step back and focusing on all my lawsuits and stuff like that. So if you want to get on a call, be on with me, this is your chance to do so, okay? 5-day challenge. It says 12 a.m. here, but ignore that. It's 11 a.m. It says until 1 p.m. East, but it's probably going to be until 2 or 3 because Truth in Lending is pretty long, okay? If you get the VIP or Platinum experience, you'll be able to get on a live Q&A with me after the regular class. You will have access to the replays no matter which package you decide to get, okay? But if you have collection companies that you're trying to sue, you want to get in here. And now I'm answering questions. I know y'all, okay, just re-ask your questions, okay? How will we receive the replay? So once you purchase, you guys will receive login credentials from me where you'll be able to log in on my website and watch the replays. So literally each day that I finish, the replay will be uploaded into the portal and you'll be able to watch it. This will be very detailed. This will be hours long. So you better make time, okay? It's all about how, what about regular credit companies? Would that be taught? Yes, regular credit, like, what do you mean regular credit companies? Like credit reporting companies?
Why me with no dress on? Why me?
She what?
Who invited me? I didn't expect that. I was home down there.
Okay. You'll have the replays available, lifetime access. So do you send a dispute letter and then a cease and desist? It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Yes, you can sue. So the original creditor, that's what Truth in Lending is going to be for. The original creditor, you can sue them under Truth in Lending, and you can also sue them under the FCRA. There is a way that you can sue them under FDCPA, but we will talk about that on the 5-day challenge. No, I don't want that.
That one?
Sure, just one. Will I discuss repos and late payments? Yes. So the repos, late payments, right?
So I need 2 more. Thank you.
Late payments, that's going to be included in Truth in Lending Act. That's where Congress speaks about late payments, right? Repossessions is going to be on day 2, Fair Credit Reporting Act. So repossessions is also going to be Truth in Lending Act, because Truth in Lending Act, so you guys got to realize Truth in Lending Act is for anything you use your social security number for. What is that? What do we use our social security number for? Everything. That's what Truth in Lending Act for. If they're a lender, because they really ain't lending shit. Okay. But Truth in Lending Act is for lenders. Every single thing that you use that's on your credit report is from a lender. So yes, Truth in Lending Act governs all of that. Literally all of that. What if a cease and desist isn't certified green receipt? Do they still have to honor it upon receipt? Congress says that it has to be sent via mail upon receipt. So technically, no, they wouldn't have to honor it. UCC, I will not be going over UCC. I'm sorry. Yes, your social is a credit card because you use that to enter into consumer credit transactions. Your social security number is the only way that you can go inside of a bank and get a credit card or a loan. It's not for identification purposes. If you look on the Social Security Administration website, it says that your social security number is not for identification purposes. So what is it for? Do we gather documentation of being denied credit for personal use? Yes. You always want to gather your evidence. That is evidence. What if you send a cease and desist letter and nothing happens? You sue them. Who to sue dispute when the third party has bought a debt, but original creditor is showing a collection of credit profile? Both of them. That's inaccurate reporting, baby. We will be going over that. I'm not going over if a job is a consumer transaction. A job is a consumer credit transaction.
I got one down, one more.
No, don't eat all of them. I just said to get one. And you got school tomorrow.
Please buy me one more toothy. That's it.
No.
Yeah.
So yes, a job would be considered a consumer credit transaction. That is something. That is something. Right? Your job asks you for your social security number. I didn't say it here. They said it. I didn't say it. They said it. What books would you recommend on Amazon to read to cover all of this? Give yourself credit. Bubby, stop yelling and be respectful. Give yourself credit. Money doesn't grow on trees. Stop yelling. The UCC.
I heard you.
What does she need? Okay, close the door, because now you're just doing too much. The UCC connection. Give yourself credit. Meet your straw man. Modern money mechanics. The creature from Jekyll Island. It's a lot. Just because you said that, okay, answer this. Does a consumer reporting agency honor your request for telling them to remove a negative account even though it's inaccurate? No. These corporations don't care. They don't care. This is why you have to learn how to sue. This is literally exactly why you have to learn how to sue. This is the only reason why that my focus is literally solely on teaching you guys how to sue, teaching you guys how to take back your control against these corporations. You have to want to do it. You have to. That's what this really forces you to do things that you don't want to do. It really does. It really does. So that's the reason why I solely focus on that, because I bought people's credit repair books and credit repair stuff, but that didn't work because they didn't teach me how to sue. They didn't teach me how to sue. Does it cost money to sue the collector? There is a fee waiver form. Yes, you'll be able to buy. So yes, the class will be available for you all literally until the last day. So say for instance that you got it on the 27th, that's fine if you get it on the 27th. I will still allow all of you to join because I know everybody doesn't have the funds. I will allow all of you to join up until the very last day, but after the last day, I don't know if I will be selling the replay. This is all my packages in one because I have not went over how to file a federal claim in a live class yet. So I will let you guys know if I do decide to sell a replay, but as of right now, there is no replay. Because I really want to focus on you guys getting on the call with me live because you guys always end up having like extra questions. That's hard for me. I'm only one person. It's hard for me to like answer all your questions and stuff. So that's why the live classes are very, very important. Okay, thank you. This is the most helpful info I've heard. This is what I need to focus on. You're so welcome. Yes. If you try to send hella letters to consumer reporting agencies, if you try to send hella letters to collection companies and they haven't worked, your next step is to sue. And that's what I'm going to be teaching you tomorrow. Yeah. Yes, you guys. So I hope you all enjoyed this webinar. I'm excited. Please join the 5-day challenge if you have the money to invest into yourself so you can start learning how to sue these corporations and so you can start learning how to take back your control. What I said tonight was just a minimum of what I'm going to be saying for the next 5 days as we're going to be on the call for 3 to 4 hours for 5 days in a row. Okay. So yes, this is the ending for tonight. Suing and arbitration is different because arbitration is private. Arbitration is through the American Arbitration Association. It's a private suing versus federal is like, so for instance, I have an arbitration case and I have a federal case. My federal case, I could tell you guys right now who I sued federally because it's a public thing, but arbitration is private. And most of the times arbitration agreements are in your contracts. So most companies do arbitration. So yeah, that's the difference between federal and arbitration. Arbitration is private, federal is a public thing. Arbitration, you cannot disclose anything that goes on through arbitration. That's why when people sign, like me, when I signed that settlement agreement with the dealership, there's certain things that I cannot disclose. Like I couldn't disclose the settlement amount, but it was 5 figures though. And it came on my birthday. Yeah. So y'all listen, I would show that check, but I can't because you know what I'm saying, it's called hush money. That's what I'm talking about. So people be like, oh, that don't work. The only reason why I know that Truth in Lending works is because whenever I went against that dealership, they tried to file a motion to dismiss, but in arbitration, when they file a motion to dismiss, the arbitrator gives you the chance to respond. I responded and the arbitrator said, no, we will not be dismissing this case. We will be proceeding forward. So that's how I know it worked. That's how I know it worked. That's how I know it worked. Like people be like, oh, it don't work. It don't work. This is what I say to those people. It works. It works. Trust me. I know firsthand. It might not work. The thing is, like, when it don't work, it's because you didn't do something right. That's why you can try again and try again and try again and try again, because we can always come, shoot. But that's how life is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so let me say the books for you guys one more time. Modern Money Mechanics, Meet Your Straw Man, The UCC Connection, Give Yourself Credit, Money Doesn't Grow on Trees, The Creature from Jekyll Island, and yeah, I think that was the 5. All right. So thank you guys for joining my free webinar. Again, I hope you all can join the 5-day challenge. If you can't, it's okay. Just keep studying, keep learning, keep growing, keep pouring into yourself, keep your energy up, keep your positivity going, because you got to remain positive in this life. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself grace and just be grateful. Have gratitude. You know what I'm saying? That's important. That's very important in this life because we be so hard on ourselves. If you have a negative account on your credit report, it's okay. Just take a deep breath. It's okay. It's okay to have negative items on your credit report because you know what? You can get paid from them. So, all right, y'all, join the 5-day challenge. I hope you all enjoyed this amazing live, this amazing free class. I've been on here for about an hour. Thank you guys so much for all of the support. See you guys. Bye.